Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader. Today I'm doing my January wrap-up, just showing you guys what I read in the month of January and telling you what I thought about it, I guess, sort of like mini reviews. Do you like my manatee? It's a tea infuser, but it's a manatee. Anyone else love horrible jokes? I think the worse the joke is, the better, to be honest. Okie dokie. The books that I have physical copies of, I want to show you. Books I read as ebooks, I just have photographs of the cover on my iPad. Hold on 1 second because I've forgotten one of the books. I'll be right back. I literally carried it upstairs 2 seconds ago and I can't find it. It was here all along. Never mind. It's ridiculously early in the morning. My brain isn't working yet. So, the first book I read this year was an ebook. It was... No, darn, you're not going to be able to see that, are you? Let's see if we reduce the brightness. Get rid of that there. Aha! The more you know. The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I have read only Coraline. That's the only book of Neil Gaiman I've read. I saw this available as an ebook from my library, and I thought, yes please. I gave it a 1 star on Goodreads. 1 star for me is I didn't finish it. Couldn't finish it. It was painful. I'm not going to stick with a book I don't like. I didn't like it. The story intrigued me a little, I guess. I felt like there was nothing exciting happening. It was recording day-to-day events that were entirely unexciting. The writing style I found hard to picture, imagine the creatures, and just seemed really jumbled up. I had no idea where it was going. Characters seemed to appear and disappear that were completely irrelevant. But I did find these in the library last week. I'm going to read these for Emojicathon, which is starting tomorrow, and I'll have a video up by the time you're watching this. I'll have a video up about what I'm reading for that. It's a 2-volume P. Craig Russell's a graphic novel, but I'll talk more about them in my next video. But it's still the Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, but it's a graphic novel version, and I thought because I found a lot of the text unnecessary and a lot of the descriptive a little hard to follow, that I thought that I would get more of a pure story out of the graphic novels than I did from the novel. So that's why I went with that. The next ebook that I read was the Constantine series. This is the problem with ebooks and trying to show them on screen. The Constantine Curse by Gareth B. Jones. I liked this book. It shook me. The ending, I was like, it's a children's book, really. I was like, you're going to leave a children's book this way? Not to spoil anything. I gave it a 3 star on Goodreads, and looking back, I'm not sure whether I should go back and change it to a 4. Do you ever do that after you've had time to think? No, it wasn't as good as I thought, or maybe it was better than I thought it was. But anyway, it struck a chord with me. I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. I liked it though. It was sort of if you like series of unfortunate events, like it was Gareth B. Jones has sort of like a more gothic, like I don't want to say sinister because it's a children's book, but that sort of more gothic, like no, everything's not alright, bad endings happen kind of type feel, which I really enjoyed. Enjoyed so much that the third book I read this year was The Thornwick Inheritance by Gareth P. Jones again. Yep, was looking through, I finished The Constantine Curse and was so affected, I guess, by it that was looking at my library's ebooks and I had to type in and see if they had anything else by Gareth P. Jones to see what it was like, and enjoyed The Thornwick Inheritance, I think, more. I gave it a 4-star on Goodreads. I'm not that sure if I warmed to the style more the second time round, but basically twins, when they were like weeks old, their mother murdered their father and then died like before she was able to be arrested. They found out it was her, but they hadn't arrested her. She died suddenly, and they spend their whole lives like having murder attempts on each other because they both want the fortune to themselves. But it's approaching their 16th birthday when they'll inherit, and they decide to call a truce. Mysterious visitors show up and things from the past are brought up and truths come out about the original murders. Yeah, I gave this a 4-star on Goodreads. 4-star to me is about as good as you get, apart from perfect. I've already gave a 5-star this year, but that was the last book I read, so it'll be the end of the video. So if you want to find out what my 5-star was, you have to wait until the end. But yeah, really enjoyed this. I should have said what The Constantine Curse was about. Little girl, well, teenage girl, comes home and finds her mother crying. Turns out her granny has died that she's never met. They live in Australia and her granny lives in the UK. So they go over to the funeral, and she learns that she has like 7 uncles and like however many, 9 or whatever cousins that she didn't even know existed for her whole life, rather than had met. And there's something weird going on within the family. She sort of has to find out what's going on. That was it for ebooks. Can't remember which order I read the next two in. I think it was this one first. The Secret Life of Daisy Fitzjohn. This is about a young girl who is born in like a stately home, which is owned by her mother, but it's just her and her mum, and the place has become really run down. But she's born in the house, and this takes place when she's like 11 or 12. She's never left the house. Her mum goes away like once a week to do the shopping. That's like it. There's no contact with any other humans basically. Then one day her mum goes to get the shopping and doesn't come back, and visitors turn up and she learns about the past. And yeah, I gave this a 4-star too. It is absolutely beautiful. It's done over like 5 days, so not every chapter is a day, but it is split up into days. And it has a spread for each day, and it starts with like the blankest and it goes to the cover, so like every day as more is learned about the past, like the people or the peacock is like added to the story, which I really enjoyed that. Like I think illustrations can enhance a book so much, and it really worked in this case. So that was another 4-star. I really like the ending in this actually. From sort of like halfway to the end, I was like, this is like, you can see where it's going, and it's just going to be like such a typical ending. But like the last couple of chapters were quite engrossing. It didn't end the way I thought it was going to end, which was quite nice. And it's nice for such, like, I would say this book was sort of for the sort of like 11-year-old range, so to have even I didn't see sort of the ending coming was really nice. Next book, I have a review of this book already up on my channel. I done it last week when I finished the book. So if you want to learn more about Jolly Foul Play by Robin Stevens, then go and have a look at my full review. But I thoroughly enjoyed it and gave it 4 stars. And the final book I read in January. I've read 6 books this month, which for me is pretty good. I'm a slow reader, and I like to take like a gap between books. I don't fare very well. I'm not jumping from one book straight into another. So normally, like, I finished this last book just yesterday. Finished it off, sat up late last night so that I could include it in my wrap up because I only had so many chapters left. I'll probably not read at all today and then start a new book tomorrow. I feel giving myself time between books sort of gets one story out of the way, and I also feel if I set down a book and pick up my new one straight away, I find it really hard to get into the writing style and the story, and then I just lose the first like day or two of reading because I'm still like my head's in the old story. So that sort of compounded with the fact that I'm a slow reader and I've been doing a lot of work this month. 6 books is pretty good. My final book and my 5-star book was The Givers by Lois Lowry. I have watched Cece over at Problems with a Book Nerd for a very long time, and she always rates this book, said it was her favourite book of all time, possibly, and talks about it quite a lot. And I saw it cheap online and thought, like, I can't not, I have to pick it up. Like, okay, I trust her opinion, and, you know, it was only a couple £. I was like, it's a book, like, I'm gonna enjoy it. So I did, I picked it up, and I've owned it for a while. I think I bought this maybe back in October, and I haven't got around to picking it up yet. So I finally did, and I'm so I really loved it. So it's in the future, and it's like, it was one of the first, it was written in 1993, and it was one of sort of the first dystopian societies. A lot of American states banned it and wouldn't like let people use it in their views, and people were saying it was anti-Christian and were like calling Lois Lowry like the Antichrist and everything. And now, like, it's on a lot of state reading lists in the US, and like a lot of Christian schools like use it as part of their syllabus. Like, it has finally got the recognition it deserves. But it's in the future, and it's in a dystopian society, so everything's run, everything's organised, like there's no choices for anybody, and they all think it's perfect. Jonas, who is the main character, who is like 12 for the bulk of the story, his life is simple and filled with routine and small pleasures. But everything changes on the day of the ceremony. From the moment Jonah is selected as the receiver of memory for the community, his life will never be the same. Now that doesn't really tell you much about the book. I think that's maybe why it took me so long to read it, because Cece never sort of described what it was about, and reading the back it seemed sort of bland, I guess. But it is so much more, but now I understand why they didn't put so much more in the back, because it would really give it away. Yeah, so basically it's a dystopian book. I will tell you that the ending isn't fulfilled. It ends on almost a cliffhanger. Like, you don't get absolutes in the ending, which I know some people really hate in books. So if you hate, like, it's not a cliffhanger in the sense that it's a series and it's forcing you to read the next one. I found the cliffhanger ending quite profound in this case, but each to their own. So I would recommend anybody to pick up this book, but if you're seriously annoyed by sort of endings where every last knot isn't tied and every last I isn't dotted, then think twice. But normally I don't like that, but it's quite profound in this. So that is my January wrap up. I'm aware that this has become quite long. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, follow me on Twitter, Goodreads, Instagram, and keep an eye out for my Emojicon. Mojicon? That's going to be stuck in my head now. It's Emoji-a-thon. Readathon is going for the month of February, so my video should be up within about an hour of this one. I'm going to film it right now. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.